Governor Janet Mills, who is running for the U.S. Senate this year, has now unveiled a new campaign platform.
Our Phil Hirschhorn is here now with the details on that. Hi, Phil.
Hi, Amanda and Brian. Governor Mills, as you know, is seeking the Democratic nomination in the June primary to face incumbent Republican Susan Collins this November. Well, today, Mills released a 17-page platform reprising a lot of her well-known positions, like supporting universal health care and reproductive rights, for capping prescription drug costs and protecting Social Security and Medicare, and mitigating climate change. Mills also advocating the following: term limits for Congress, 12 years total, that's 6 terms in the House, 2 in the Senate, ending the Senate filibuster rule, that's the one where it takes 60 votes to pass anything, rejecting ICE funding until there are those reforms Democrats want, raising the corporate income tax, and imposing a new wealth tax. No specific rates from Governor Mills, but here's what she told me about the wealth tax.
You cannot ignore the ever-expanding wealth gap, the widening wealth gap that is hurting more middle Americans, middle-class Americans, and low-income Americans than ever before. That on top of the tariffs and the increased cost of living that's impacting millions of Americans, we've got to address that.
Mills was in Portland this morning. You may recognize the Holiday Inn by the Bay for her annual speech to the World Affairs Council of Maine. She spent most of it criticizing President Trump's foreign policy and what she called his warmongering. She said the month-old Iran war was not authorized by Congress and has no endgame, and spoke with great concern about Trump's deadline of tonight for Iran to reopen the Persian Gulf Strait of Hormuz, through which so much of the world's oil passes, or face a massive escalation in the war.
The president threatened to bomb bridges and power plants unless Iran reopened the Strait of Hormuz, or they'll be, quote, living in hell. Iran has threatened to respond with crushing force. Incoherent and inconsistent messages about the war in Iran from the commander-in-chief are scarcely putting America first, as this president promised.
Governor Mills called Trump's language threatening language terrifying, rather, and said he's gone way beyond the powers entrusted to him by the Constitution. She said Congress is the only institution that can provide a real check on the president's power, and the Republican-led branch has not been doing so. It's also in recess. Brian and Amanda.
All right, Phil Hirschhorn, thank you.